far beyond the stars of Earth, in a busy space station known as Zephyra. Many kinds of aliens lived and worked together. Zephyra was a center for trade, science, and healing. The Galactic Clinic, one of the largest medical centers in the station, took care of creatures from many planets. Tira, a young alien nurse, was preparing for a new patient. She had never treated a human before. Humans were rare visitors in this part of space. She had read many reports about them. They were known to be strong, brave, and sometimes a little wild. But she had also heard that they were kind and curious, like her. Tira looked around the clinic's bright, clean rooms. Her skin was light blue, and her eyes were big and shiny. She moved quickly and carefully, making sure everything was ready. The clinic's equipment was strange to her, machines with many buttons, tubes, and glowing lights. But she knew how to use them all. Today, the new patient was a human named Raul. The clinic had received a message that his ship would dock soon. Tira felt nervous, but excited. She wanted to see how humans looked up close. When the loudspeaker announced, "Human vessel arriving on Dock 7, Tira walked toward the docking bay. She was not the only one waiting. Other aliens stood around, whispering quietly. Humans were always interesting to them. The airlock doors hissed open. A tall figure stepped out. Raul was much bigger than most aliens around him. His skin was light brown, and his dark hair was short. His face was calm but serious. He carried something in his hands, a large, heavy tool. Tira's eyes grew wide. The tool was huge. It looked like a big metal stick, covered with buttons and strange parts. She had never seen anything like it before. It was much bigger than the tools the aliens used. Raul smiled slightly and said in clear, strong words, "Hello. I'm here for medical help." Tira stepped forward and said, "Welcome to Zephyr Clinic, Raul. Please come inside." As they moved through the clinic's halls, Tira noticed how calm Raul was. He did not seem afraid or nervous. He walked with confidence, his steps firm and strong. Back in the examination room, Tira asked, "What happened to you?" Raul looked down at his arm. "I was fixing my ship's engine when a heavy part fell on me. It hurt, but I can still work." Tira nodded. She prepared to check his arm. As she looked at it, she saw a deep bruise but no broken bones. She would need to use some medicine and rest. Suddenly, she noticed the big tool again, standing next to Raul. "That is a very large tool," she said, pointing. Raul smiled. "It is. Humans use big tools because we are strong. We like to build and fix things ourselves." Tira was amazed. "It looks powerful." "It is," Raul said simply. "I can use it for many things: repair, defense, survival." Tira wanted to learn more, but first she had to finish the checkup. She took out small instruments and gently touched Raul's arm. As she worked, she felt respect for the human. Even though he looked tough and big, he was calm and careful. He trusted her, and she wanted to do her best. When she finished, Tira said, "You will need to rest for a few days. The bruise will heal quickly with this medicine." Raul nodded. "Thank you, Tira. I appreciate your help." After the examination, Tira went to the clinic's control room. She looked at the records about humans. They were different from most species in many ways. Their bodies were strong, but their minds were also very clever. They had survived many challenges on Earth and in space. Tira thought about the large tool again. It was strange to her but very useful. Maybe humans were not just strong, they were smart too, making tools to match their power. Outside the clinic windows, the stars shone bright. The galaxy was full of unknown worlds and humans. Like Raul were ready to explore them. Tira smiled. She felt lucky to meet a human. She knew this was just the beginning of an amazing story. The next morning, Tira woke early, still thinking about the human named Raul and his enormous tool. The Galactic Clinic was busy, but her mind kept returning to the strange, powerful device. She wondered how such a big tool could work so well. The clinic's main hall was full of aliens moving between rooms, each with their own tasks. Some were busy with patients, others prepared medicines, and a few repaired machines. Tira felt excited to learn more about humans. They were rare, but stories about them spread quickly through ZEP horror. Suddenly, a message came from the examination room. Nurse Tira, please come. Ral needs assistance. Tira moved quickly. When she arrived, she saw Ral standing near a large, broken machine. It was one of the clinic's important devices used to clean air and water for the whole station. The machine had stopped working, and the other medical staff looked worried. Ral was already studying the machine, his big tool in hand. Tira watched as he inspected parts, touching metal pieces and pressing buttons on his tool. The size of the tool seemed perfect for the large machine. You think you can fix it? Tira asked. Ral nodded. Yes, humans are used to fixing machines. We like to solve problems ourselves. Tira was impressed by his confidence. Many aliens would call for engineers or wait for special parts, but Ral was ready to act immediately. He opened parts of the machine and began working. The tool made quiet sounds as it moved. It could change shape and size. It had different functions built inside. Tira had never seen a tool so smart and strong. As Ral worked, he explained, on Earth, we often face problems alone. We must be ready to fix things quickly. Tools like this help us survive. Tira listened carefully. She could see that humans were not only strong, but also very clever. Their tools were made to do many jobs at once. The other aliens watched with curiosity. Some whispered, humans are different. Others said, their tools are massive, but effective. After some minutes, the machine started to hum again. Clean air began to flow through the vents, and the water system showed signs of working. The staff smiled and thanked Ral. Tira felt proud to have a human among them. Later, Tira sat with Ral in the clinic's small break room. They drank a hot, sweet drink from a blue cup. Tira asked, tell me more about your tool. Why is it so big? Ral smiled softly. Because humans are big. We have strong muscles, and our tools must match. But size is not everything. It is also smart. This tool has many uses. I can fix machines, protect myself, even help in emergencies. Tira was amazed. That is very useful. Yes, Ral said. We learn to be ready for anything. Tira nodded. In our species, we use small, specialized tools. But I see. Your tool can do more because it is flexible. Ral leaned forward. Humans value strength and adaptability. We build things to last and to be ready for surprises. Tira thought about this carefully. She remembered how humans on Earth had survived many disasters, wars, and harsh environments. Their strength was not only in muscles but also in their minds and tools. Suddenly, the clinic's alarms sounded. A loud voice came through the station's system. Warning, asteroid approaching Zephyr Station. Impact expected in 10 minutes. Everyone in the clinic stopped. Tira's heart raced. The station shields had to be reinforced quickly. Without strong protection, the asteroid could cause serious damage. Ral stood up. Show me where to help. Tira led him to the shield. Control room. The place was full of consoles and flashing lights. Several aliens worked urgently to strengthen the station's defenses. One alien said, we need heavy support on the outer panels. The force of the asteroid is too strong. Ral nodded and picked up his big tool. I will help with the repair and support. Tira watched as Ral moved to the outer panels. His tool changed shape, a heavy clamp, a powerful drill, and a strong hammer. The tool was not only big but also very smart, using his strength and the tool's power. Ral worked quickly. He tightened bolts, fixed cracks, and reinforced beams. The alien staff helped by guiding him and handing over small parts. The minutes passed fast. The asteroid grew closer on the station's screens. Everyone held their breath. Finally, the shields shone brighter. The force field was strong and steady. The asteroid hit the shields with a loud crash, but the station held firm. The alarm stopped. Everyone cheered quietly. The danger was over. Tira walked to Ral, her eyes shining. You saved us, Ral smiled. We did it together. Humans are strong, but teamwork is important. Tira felt a new respect for the human. He was not just big and strong. He was brave and helpful. After the crisis, Tira looked at the big tool. With new eyes, it was more than a machine. It was a symbol of human strength, skill, and readiness. She thought, maybe humans have the right idea being ready for anything. Using their size and smart tools to survive in a big universe, Tira smiled. She was glad to be part of this story, and she was curious about what would come next. After the asteroid had passed and the station was safe, the galactic clinic slowly returned to its normal rhythm. But Tira could not stop thinking about the human named Raoul and his huge tool. She had learned so much in the past days. Humans were different, strong, smart, and ready for anything. Tira's thoughts were interrupted by a sudden call on the clinic's intercom. Attention all medical staff. Emergency in the hydroponics section. Severe equipment failure. Tira quickly joined the group of aliens rushing to the hydroponics bay. This section of the station was very important. It grew fresh fruits and vegetables for everyone living on Zephyra. If the equipment failed for too long, the plants would die and the station could face a food shortage. When Tira arrived, she saw water dripping from broken pipes and strange noises coming from the main control panel. Several alien technicians were trying to fix the problem, but the damage was worse than they expected. One technician said, "The water pumps are broken, and the control system is offline. We need heavy tools to repair the pipes and reset the system, but our tools are not strong enough for this." Tira looked around and spotted Raoul standing near the entrance. He was already watching the problem closely, his big tool in hand. "Tira," Raoul said calmly, "show me the damage. I will help." Tira led him to the broken pipes. They were cracked and leaking water everywhere. The control panel was dark and unresponsive. Raoul walked to the pipes and opened his tool. It changed shape, a strong wrench and a hydraulic press. His hands worked quickly, twisting and fixing the metal pieces. The alien technicians watched in surprise. Their tools were small and delicate, but Raoul's was strong and powerful. It was made to handle tough jobs. Tira asked, "How did you learn to use such a big tool so well?" Raoul smiled. "On Earth, humans often fix things by themselves. We must be ready to repair tools and machines anytime. Our tools are made to do many jobs quickly," while Raoul worked on the pipes. Another technician tried to restart the control panel, but the system would not turn on. Raoul examined the panel carefully. Then he took a different part of his tool, a small energy connector and a diagnostic scanner. He connected the tool to the panel and waited. The tool's lights blinked as it scanned the system. After a moment, the control panel lit up again. The technician gasped, "It's working." Raoul nodded. Sometimes machines need a strong hand and smart tools. Tira felt admiration growing inside her. This human was not just strong, but also skilled. His tool was amazing, big when needed, small and precise when necessary. Just as the repairs seemed almost done, a loud noise echoed through the hydroponics bay. One of the pipes burst, spraying water everywhere. The wet floor became slippery and dangerous. The alien stepped back quickly. Raoul did not hesitate. He used the big clamp part of his tool to hold the broken pipe tightly, stopping the water flow. Tira helped by moving equipment out of the way. The other technicians brought new pipes and parts. Raoul continued to work fast, using his tool to replace the broken pipe. After many minutes, the water stopped leaking. The pumps were fixed. The control system was back online. Tira smiled widely. "You saved the hydroponics section." Raoul wiped sweat from his forehead. "Teamwork is important. I am happy to help." The alien technicians gathered around, asking questions about Raoul's tool. They wanted to learn how such a device worked, and if they could make something similar for themselves. Tira listened as Raoul explained simply. "The tool is built for many jobs. It is strong and smart, but also easy to carry. Humans design tools to be ready for anything." Later that day, Tira and Raoul sat in a quiet room of the clinic. The sun was setting outside, painting the sky with colors of orange and pink. Tira asked, "What makes humans so ready for challenges?" Raoul thought for a moment. "On Earth, life is not easy. We face storms, earthquakes, and many dangers. We learn to be strong and smart. We build tools like this to survive and protect others. Tira nodded slowly. It is clear to me now. Humans are not just large in body, but also in spirit. Ral smiled. Thank you, Tira. I hope to show you more. Tira felt a new friendship growing. She realized that different species could learn from each other. Humans had something special, a mix of strength, courage, and cleverness. As the clinic lights dimmed, Tira thought about the future. There would be more challenges ahead. But with humans like Ral and tools like his, she believed they could face anything. The day after the repairs in the hydroponics section, the calm of the Zephyr station was suddenly broken again. This time, the danger was even closer and more serious. Tira was in the clinic when the station's alert system flashed red. A heavy asteroid was heading straight for Zephyr, and the shield generators had to be repaired quickly to withstand the impact. The station's defense systems were strong, but the asteroid's size was larger than any before. The clinic staff rushed to the control room. Tira and Ral arrived together. The room was crowded with aliens and technicians, all trying to work fast. One technician said, "The outer shield panels have weak spots. We need to strengthen them before the asteroid hits." Tira looked at Ral. "Can your tool help?" Ral nodded. "It is made for hard jobs. I will do my best." The team moved to the outer hull of the station. The asteroid was getting closer. On the screens, and time was running out, Ral carried his large tool, which seemed heavy but perfectly balanced. He stopped at a damaged shield panel. "Watch this," he said quietly. Ral opened his tool, and it changed again. Now a large drill and a strong welding torch. Using the tool, Ral began fixing the panel. The drill bit spun fast, making sparks fly, but the tool was quiet enough not to disturb the others. His hands worked with speed and care. Tira observed closely. She had never seen such a powerful tool used so skillfully. It was not just big, it was smart. The other aliens helped by bringing replacement parts and giving instructions. But Ral's strength and tool made the biggest difference. Suddenly, a loud rumble shook the station. The asteroid was almost here. The team worked faster. Ral tightened bolts, welded cracks, and reinforced beams. His tool changed from drill to hammer and back, doing many jobs in seconds. Tira could see sweat on his forehead. But Ral did not stop. The shield started glowing brighter as the energy flowed through the fixed panels. The station's defenses were growing stronger. The asteroid struck with a huge crash. Lights flickered, and a loud noise echoed through the halls. But the shield held. The station rocked, but it did not break. Tira and the others cheered softly. Ral looked at the repaired panels and then at the control screen. "We did it." One alien officer came to him. "Your strength and your tools saved us. We owe you thanks." Ral smiled, but he was tired. "I'm glad I could help." Back in the clinic, Tira helped Ral rest and recover. She brought him water and checked his pulse. "You are strong," she said quietly. Ral laughed softly. "Humans must be. We face many dangers." Tira thought about what she had seen. Humans were not just big, they were brave. Their tools were built to handle any situation. She asked, "What else can your tool do?" Ral smiled. "Many things. It can be a weapon if needed, but I prefer to use it to build and repair. It can also help in rescue missions or to clear debris." Tira nodded. "That is wise. Strength with care," Ral agreed. "Yes, power is useful, but we must use it responsibly." The next days passed quickly. Ral's presence in the clinic became a source of inspiration. Aliens watched him work and learned from his example. Tira found herself thinking about humans differently. They were not just strangers or visitors. They were friends, partners, ready to stand with others in hard times. One evening, as the station's stars shone outside, Tira and Ral walked together near the observation deck. Ral looked at the stars and said, "The universe is big and sometimes dangerous. But with strength, smart tools, and friends, we can face it." Tira smiled. "You speak wisely, Ral." They stood quietly, both thinking about the future. Tira knew there would be more challenges on Zephyr. But with humans like Ral and their monstrous tools, hope was strong. After the asteroid crisis, life on Zephyr Station slowly returned to normal. The clinic was busy as always, but the air felt lighter, as if everyone breathed easier knowing they had survived. Tira and Ral had become good friends. They often worked together and shared stories during breaks. Tira was eager to learn more about humans, and Ral was happy to explain. One afternoon, Tira invited Ral to visit the station's common hall. It was a place where aliens from different planets gathered to eat, talk, and share news. The hall was full of colors, smells, and sounds from many worlds. Come with me, Tira said with a smile. I want to show you something. Ral nodded and followed her through the busy corridors. As they entered the hall, Ral looked around with interest. He saw many species sitting together, laughing, and enjoying food. Tira led him to a small table where several aliens were playing a board game. The pieces were shaped like crystals, and moved by thought. These games teach us strategy and patience. Tira explained. Would you like to try? Ral smiled. I like challenges. They played for a while, and Tira was surprised at how quickly Ral learned the rules. His mind was sharp, and he thought carefully before making moves. After the game, Tira asked, what is life like on Earth? How do humans live together? Ral thought for a moment. Earth is a big planet with many people and cultures. We work hard and help each other. We build cities, explore oceans, and travel to space. Life is not always easy, but we find strength. In family and friends, Tira nodded. That sounds wonderful. Here, we also value community. We believe working together makes us stronger. Ral smiled warmly. Then we have much in common. As they talked, a message came over the station's network. The nearby mining colony sent a request for medical help. A new virus was spreading, and the colony's clinic was overwhelmed. Tira and Ral looked at each other. This was a chance to help more people. Let's go, Tira said firmly. Within minutes, they boarded a small shuttle and traveled to the mining colony. The place was rough and dusty, with heavy machines working day and night at the colony's clinic. Tira saw worried doctors and tired nurses. The virus was new and fast spreading. Tira began helping with patient care. She used her knowledge and gentle hands to comfort the sick. Ral used his big tool in a new way, to clean and repair the colony's damaged air filters. The filters were important to keep clean air flowing in the crowded clinic. While working, Ral spoke with some miners. They told stories of hard work and danger in deep tunnels. One miner said, humans are strong, but also kind. They help each other no matter what. Ral nodded. That is true. We believe in standing together. Tira watched quietly, feeling proud of her new friend. Days passed as they worked to stop the virus. Tira learned about human medicine, while Ral helped repair machines. Together, they showed the miners and doctors that strength and care could save lives. One evening, as they rested, Tira said, I have never seen such determination. Ral smiled. Softly, humans must be ready for anything. We learn from challenges and grow stronger. Tira looked at him with respect. You teach me that strength is not only in body, but in heart. Ral nodded. And you teach me the power of kindness and patience. Their friendship deepened, and the aliens and humans working together became a symbol of hope for the mining colony. When the virus was finally under control, Tira and Ral returned to Zephyr Station, tired but happy, back at the clinic. Tira thought about the bond between species. Differences could bring fear, but also great strength when overcome. She knew humans had a special place in the galaxy, not just because of their size or tools, but because of their spirit and kindness. Ral agreed. We are all part of this universe. Together, we can face any challenge. Tira smiled. Yes, together. As the stars twinkled outside, the two friends looked forward to many more adventures, knowing their bond was strong and true. Life on Zephyr Station was peaceful once again. The virus at the mining colony was controlled, and the station shields were repaired. Tira and Ral continued their daily routines, growing more comfortable with each other and the many species around them. But peace was not to last. One quiet morning, while Tira was organizing medical supplies, the station's alert system sounded, the red lights flashed, and an urgent message came over the speakers. Warning. Unknown vessel approaching Zephyra. Identification impossible. Prepare for possible contact. Tira's heart quickened. Unknown ships were always a cause for concern. The Galactic Council rarely saw new ships without prior notice. This could mean danger. Raoul stood beside her. We must be ready, he said calmly. His big tool hung at his side, a silent reminder of strength and readiness. The station's defense team scrambled to action, the command center filled with anxious voices and flashing screens. Tira and Raoul joined the team. Tira offered medical support if needed. Raoul prepared to help with repairs or defense. The unknown vessel drew closer. It was large and dark, its surface covered in strange patterns that pulsed softly. Suddenly, the ship sent a message in an unfamiliar language. The station's translators struggled to understand. Raoul looked at Tira. What do we do? Tira thought. Quickly, we should try to communicate calmly. They might not mean harm. The council decided to send a peaceful message back, inviting the unknown vessel to dock and speak. Minutes later, the alien ship docked at ZEP Horror. From the airlock came strange beings, tall, covered in shiny armor, with eyes that glowed faintly. They moved carefully, but watched everything. Tira stepped forward. Welcome to Zephyra. We mean no harm. The leader of the new visitors spoke slowly, using a translator device. We seek help. Our home is dying. The crowd was silent. No one expected such words from unknown strangers. Raoul asked, what happened to your home? The leader replied, a great disaster. Our planet was damaged by a cosmic storm. We need medical aid and shelter. Tira felt sympathy for them. We will help you. Please come with us. The visitors followed her to the clinic, where doctors and nurses prepared to assist. As the days passed, Tira and Raoul worked with the newcomers. They learned that the visitors were called the Varn. Their planet had suffered a terrible storm that destroyed many cities and injured countless people. Tira treated many Varn patients. Their bodies were different, tough and armored, but they had injuries like anyone else. Raoul used his tool to repair the Varn's damaged equipment and help set up temporary shelters. Despite their strength, the Varn were grateful and humble. They spoke of hope and survival. One night, Tira and Raoul talked quietly on the observation deck. These visitors remind me of humans in some ways, Tira said. Strong but needing help. Willing to trust strangers. Raoul nodded. We all need help sometimes. Strength is not just muscle. It is knowing when to accept it. Suddenly, an alarm sounded again. This time, it was a warning from outside the station. Sensors detected an approaching fleet. Hostile ships coming fast. The Galactic Council called for emergency action. The new visitors and the station's defenders prepared for battle. Tira's heart pounded. She knew that medicine and care would be needed soon. Raoul gripped his tool tightly. Stay safe, Tira. I will protect the station. The battle began. Outside, bright lights and explosions filled the sky. The station's shields flickered under heavy fire. Inside, Tira helped wounded soldiers and civilians. She worked with skill and calm, her hands steady despite the chaos. Raoul was at the front lines, using his tool to repair broken panels and clear debris. His strength and tool were vital to keeping the station alive. The Varn fought bravely alongside the station defenders. Their armor and weapons were powerful, but their injuries were many. Hours passed like minutes. The enemy ships pushed hard, but the defenders did not give up. Finally, the attackers began to retreat. The station was battered but standing. Raoul returned to the clinic, exhausted but alive. Tira smiled when she saw him. You did well. Raoul nodded. We did well, together. The battle had shown that even in the darkest times, cooperation and strength could save many lives. Tira looked at the stars, thinking of the long road ahead. The galaxy was full of danger, but also hope. She knew that with friends like Raoul and allies like the Varn, they could face whatever came next. The battle had left Zephyr Station tired but hopeful. the enemy fleet was gone, and the station shields were repaired once again. The clinic was filled with grateful patients, both locals and Varn visitors recovering side by side. Tira and Ral stood near the observation deck, looking out at the stars. The quiet hum of the station felt different now. It was as if the whole place had changed. Grown stronger after facing danger together, Ral turned to Tira. We made it through. But I wonder what comes next. Tira smiled softly. A new beginning. We have learned so much from each other. It is time to build a future, not just survive. Their words felt true. The humans, the Varn, and the other aliens had formed bonds beyond words or differences. They were no longer strangers, but partners. In the days that followed, the Galactic Council held a meeting to discuss how to help the Varn rebuild their home. Zephyr Station offered support, supplies, medicine, and skilled workers from many species. Tira was asked to lead a medical team to the Varn's planet once the immediate repairs were done. She accepted without hesitation. Rao prepared to join the mission too, bringing his versatile tool and his steady hands. Before they left, the station held a gathering. Aliens from many planets came together to celebrate survival and friendship. Tira spoke to the crowd. We faced great challenges, but together we stood strong. Let this be a lesson that unity is our greatest strength. The crowd cheered. Ral added, and remember, tools are not just objects. They are extensions of our will to help, protect, and create. After the celebrations, Tira and Ral prepared their ship for the journey to the Varn's planet. The atmosphere was hopeful but serious. The road ahead was long and full of work. During the trip, they talked about what they had seen and learned. Ral said, "Humans often think about tools and strength, but it is the heart that makes the real difference." Tira nodded. And kindness can build bridges between worlds. When they arrived, the Varn planet was still recovering. Cities were broken, skies dark from dust, but life was returning. Tira's medical team set up clinics in damaged towns. Ral helped clear rubble and repair machines, using his tools' many functions. The Varn people worked alongside them, grateful and eager to rebuild. One afternoon, Tira met an elderly Varn healer named Kira. Kira had watched the Varn suffer, but still believed in hope. "You have brought new light to our world," Kira said kindly. Tira smiled. "We are all part of one galaxy. Helping each other makes us stronger." Days turned into weeks. Slowly, the Varn planet grew brighter and healthier. Ral often worked with local engineers, teaching them how to use tools more efficiently. One young engineer said, "Your tool is amazing. It can do so much." Ral laughed. "It is just a tool. What matters is how you use it." Tira watched the progress and felt proud. This mission was more than medicine or repairs. It was about connection. One evening, under the stars of a healing Varn village, Tira and Ral sat together. Ral said, "I used to think strength was just size and power. Now I see it is also trust, friendship, and care." Tira agreed. "And I learned that no matter where we come from, we share the same hopes." They looked at the night sky, shining with distant stars. Ral smiled. "The universe is vast, but it feels smaller when we are together." Tira reached out her hand. "To new beginnings." Ral took her hand firmly. "To new beginnings." Back on Zephyr Station months later, news arrived that the Varn home world was stable and rebuilding well. The Galactic Council praised the joint efforts of all involved. Tira and Ral returned as heroes, not for battles fought alone, but for the bridges they built between species. Their story became one told across the galaxy, a reminder that strength is more than muscle or tools. It is in the courage to help, the kindness to understand, and the will to stand together. As the stars shone brightly above Zephyr, Tira and Ral knew this was only the start. The universe held many mysteries and challenges, but now they faced them not as strangers, but as friends together.